When working with File Explorer here in Windows 8.1, you have full control over the behavior of your folders and files, the way they display information, what information is being displayed. We're going to focus on that right now as we continue working with our exercise files from the previous movie. We opened this up just by double-clicking exercise files. And if you've jumped to this movie, need to get caught up, you can do the same. Or if you don't have the exercise files, no problem. Just go down to the File Explorer icon on the taskbar, give it a click to launch it, and navigate to one of the folders that might have different types of files. In our exercise files folder, we have some images. We have a video file, a text file, and a music file. Different kinds of files grouped together in one folder. How does this folder behave? Well, some of the defaults include the columns that we see here in our Details view. Click the View tab, click Details, and you'll see things like the name, the date modified, the type of file, and the size. Obviously, there's more information that goes with each of these files. We can pick and choose what information is going to be displayed or not. And here's where we do it. We'll go over to the Current View section of the ribbon. And from here, let's go to Add Columns. Click the drop-down, and you'll see some other options like Date Created as opposed to Date Modified, Authors, Tags. This could be useful for image files, for example. Let's click Tags to turn that on. A new column appears, and you can see some of these files do have tags. You might not be seeing everything in the column. It can be manually stretched out by moving to the right edge of the column up here. A double arrow appears. You could click and drag it. A faster way, though, is to simply come up here to the Current View section, click Size All Columns to Fit. It'll shrink down some of them, expand others so we can see the widest item in each column. Now at Tags, we can click the Tags heading to rearrange our files so all the ones with tags appear at the top or bottom. We could also go to the Add Columns drop-down, and if we want to add something that doesn't appear on this list, go right down to the bottom and click Choose Columns. You'll see there's a lot more to choose from here. As we scroll down the list, it's very extensive. Not all these options appear or will work with every type of file, but for example, as we scroll down the list, if we have files that include things like postal codes, or as we scroll a little further down, things like profession. Well, I know, for example, contact information might include some of these fields, and we'll be able to see that information. It's a very long list. I'm going to click the checkbox next to the last one, Year, and click OK. Now, with the Year column showing, you can see none of these files actually track that information. So to turn those off, we just simply go back to the Add Columns drop-down. Year will now appear on our list with a check mark, and we can turn it off directly from there. Other options include in the Show Hide section, something we skimmed over when we were browsing through our user interface here earlier on in this chapter. Item checkboxes, if you like to be able to check or select your files using a checkbox. There's one that appears at the very top here of our details list. Clicking it will select all your files, but now you can go through the checkboxes and deselect the ones you didn't want checked. Now we're left with just our image files selected, for example. Or you could come in here, click each of the checkboxes for the files you want to work with. Maybe you want to fix them, open them up in a program, move them, copy them, for example. The checkboxes can be very handy for that. I'm going to leave those turned on. Need to see the name extensions? Go ahead and click File Name Extensions to turn those on. You may need to adjust the column widths again. Click Size All Columns to Fit, and sure enough, it stretches out so we can see MP3, PDF, JPEG, etc. And again, hidden items can be displayed. Typically, that's when working with system files where they're hidden for your protection, so you don't accidentally delete them, for example. I'm going to leave that deselected. So we can do this with any or all of our folders, picking and choosing how the folders will display information, how that information will be ordered or sorted. And we have sort options that appear up here in our Current View drop-down, as well as selecting the titles across the top of our window. So if I want to rearrange them again by size, that's possible from my ribbon. I can even group them by, and you can see by name, type. I like type. This way, you can see I've got groups of files now. There's all my image files together. And if I don't want to look at them right now, I can collapse that to focus in on certain types of files. That's thanks to grouping. Click the Group By drop-down again, and if you wanted to, select Type again. There we go. We're down to our movie file, and are rearranged in the opposite order. Click the drop-down one more time, and choose None if you don't want that grouping turned on. So great ways to really choose how your folders and files will behave when viewing them here in File Explorer.